Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and I wanted to do a Smackdown review from the 15th of, yeah, was it the 15th? No, it actually was the 14th. I've got my days mixed up. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting show altogether. I feel like it was one of those like episodes where like it was like pivotal that you don't miss this one, even though like I feel like some of the matches were, just kind of so-so. But I feel like overall, I think like it was just one of those things where there was enough stuff going on that kind of like pushed us towards WrestleMania that it wasn't something to miss. Not to mention the crowd was like S tier automatically because they were loud and they were happy to have their first ever SmackDown in Barcelona. So I thought that was pretty cool. We had the show start off with LA Knight. It was kind of like a cool moment that he just couldn't even talk because they were so loud and just wanting him there too. I think they were really fans of LA Knight too on top of all that. So I thought that was pretty cool. He gets interrupted by Jimmy, that wants the title. I think that's a decent feud, even if it's not the WrestleMania feud and like a later feud, I think would be pretty decent. I think it would fit both pretty well. And then they get interrupted by Solo and the OG blood, not OG, the I new bloodline. I don't even know what you call them anymore, but yeah, I guess the current bloodline to a certain extent. And then they ended up with a six-man tag match with Braun Strowman. I think the match itself was okay. I'm kind of like tired of it just being kind of like random, like with having Braun Strowman in it. And I feel like the Bloodline needs a win. Like they're heels and they cheat, and they need to cheat a little bit better to win one of these because they need to have a little bit of steam. Like they seem to be getting it every week. They just kind of lose. I put it in B. It was entertaining. It wasn't too crazy of a six-man tag match. Decent way to start off the show. Then next up, we had Charlotte and BFAB, which I like the little push that BFAB's getting. This match itself was okay. I mean, obviously they weren't going to make Charlotte look weak, so like obviously BFAB got a little bit of offense, but overall, I don't think it was anything too crazy. I put it in C. I am glad that BFAB got a match. She seems to be putting some stuff together to hopefully, maybe be a little bit more of a, mid card talent that kind of gets some opportunities in there. And I think she'd be a good person to kind of have in that rotation of like the U.S. title range of maybe getting, whenever there's a new champion, getting a shot at it. And, kind of maybe having some backstage stuff. Then we had first of many teasers. I didn't get to put all of them in there. We had the Ray Phoenix teaser. I think we automatically know. But then we had this four symbol, which I think most people believe it belongs to Malachi Black. Um, they it's very loose. I've seen a couple evidence for it. They show that it's like, um, I guess like he had a promo thing like quite a few years ago, and it was something about being like chapter four of some type of journey. I don't know if that's necessarily. It feels like a little bit of a stretch, but I don't feel like it's completely out of the blue like of being correct. So I'm cautiously optimistic for this four, so I'll put it up in A. Then we had a backstage promo with Zelina Vega making it known that she wants to go for the U.S. title, which I think we've already had this. I'm trying to get the landscape pictures. But I do like Alba Fire in this little party. I know it feels completely random, and I believe it definitely is. But if this keeps Alba Fire in WWE, so maybe gets an opportunity later, she's a really solid wrestler, and it's kind of interesting that like Zelina Vega will have to run the gauntlet and have to go like against Piper Niven, then probably Alba Fire, then finally get to Chelsea Green. I don't like that necessarily. Chelsea Green already has a match against Sol Ruka. Obviously, she probably wasn't going to lose that match, but I hate when they do that type of stuff because it's like, well, then it's guaranteed in stone that she's not going to win. And I like to have a little bit of spontaneity of like, you never know what could happen, and we've seen crazy stuff happen, but there's nothing going to happen because of that. But I like this trio, and I like that Zelina is like the next up. I think Zelina would be a nice person, and it would give us a little bit of build up if they have to go through everybody. And yeah, I mean, I'd be cool. I'd be cool with it. I'm gonna put it in A. Next up, we had Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. They already had a match long time ago, like when Carmelo first got signed up, like got called up. I think this one was pretty solid. I feel like they could have definitely like done something to maybe give like Randy Orton not the cleanest win, just because it was like I kind of want to see Randy Orton, win this one. Oh wait, the Nakamura fight actually was sooner than this. I got those mixed up, but we'll still do the Randy Orton one. For whatever reason, I thought it was before, but I'm like, no, yeah, Randy Orton's was afterwards because they had the KO thing. I do like that they're building that up for WrestleMania. I think that's a perfect WrestleMania match, and I think, I mean, a little bit of look. I mean, Randy Orton is from St. Louis, and Backlash is in St. Louis, so expect him to be heavily involved in this like upper mid card, and then probably take that spot of being either Cody Rhodes or um, John Cena's next opponent. I really feel like you put the hometown boy in there, so I think this was good. This match itself, I said, was, I think, overall pretty good. I put it in A. It was very entertaining. Like I said, I just kind of wish the result might have been a little different. Then we had Nakamura versus Damian Priest. Now, I remember watching this, but I don't. I know the match got DQ'd because of Drew McIntyre coming down. Why would they say Damian Priest won this? Because this was on Cage Match as Damian Priest winning, but like Drew came down to just attack Damian Priest. Why would you give the win automatic? Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. They should have just had it a no contest. And maybe it actually is, and Cage Match is wrong, but I guess that's a little bit of griping. The match itself, I think, could have been better if they would have just let them not have this stupid ending. Like, I just feel like there could have been something better with that. So I think I'll put it in B. It definitely could be an entertaining three-way feud if they want to do down the line. But Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest seems to be the WrestleMania match. So I'm not completely against it. It's just not necessarily this match was a good call for it. Then we had the Jade Cargill promo. Just this is actually more confusing because she didn't actually see Naomi. She just saw her leave, that she thinks. I mean, I still low-key think maybe Naomi's covering for Bianca and it was just like a throw off the scent type thing. I don't know. It feels like it's way more complicated than it needs to be. I'm fine with that if they actually like deliver, but I like the big thing. Like, yeah, why didn't you tell anybody? Like, if you really thought that she was a bad person, why would you let her tag with your friend? And then, like, they blamed Liv, and, like, Liv came down and said that. Like, it's when the babyface blames the heel just for being a bad person. Like, that kind of feels kind of shitty on Jade Cargill's part. I think the promo itself, I would actually put it in S tier. It seems like I'm griping on it, but because it, like, has brought in more story and more avenues of different stuff down the line, I like all of that. So I think if you just put all that in time, the interview was good. Then we had Paul Heyman come down to say it's Roman Reigns Day, and 2K started, and they should have booed the crap out of him because it's just like, why have all this and not have Roman Reigns come in? This is D. I mean, I'll be honest. I feel like Roman Reigns is a great wrestler and great on the mic, but I feel like he's tarnishing a lot of what he's done by having this part-time ability to be here by trying to take a full-time role. Why even be on the cover? He should have turned that shit down. I know it's money and all that type of stuff, but just don't. You're not gonna promote it. You're not gonna do anything. Like he should have been on the show. That shouldn't have been that hard to go to one show in Europe. It's insane. Like the amount of money that like obviously the WWE would have paid for all his travel. The amount of money he was getting from 2K should have at least gave them enough of a thing that he shows his face for that 5 minute segment on this thing. That's not too much to ask. Then we had the surprise match, which was Gunther versus Axiom. I'm putting this in S tier. Obviously, it was kind of a short match, but like these two absolutely cooked, and they've had a match before in 2021, I think, in NXT UK when Axiom was a kid. But this was great, and the crowd absolutely loved seeing the hometown boy Axiom out there, and it was just amazing to see that he got that opportunity, and he put up a good match. I mean, it took Gunther using multiple finishers and giving it his all to put Axiom down, which should give Axiom stock raising super high after him just having a brutal match against the Hardys in the same week. Like that is a phenomenal week. Like we've been talking about like Roxanne Perez having like a crazy start of the year. Axiom is closely going up there as being the same, like, because that is absolutely insane that they used him, and not to mention like that he got that match in front of his his whole entire like country. That's awesome for him. Then we had the Miz TV thing, which was pretty much just Cody Rhodes beating the crap out of the Miz. I was fine with that. I liked it. I put it in as it was just a couple seconds. I'm cool with that. I didn't really want to hear all this. We don't need to hear the same promos over and over again. This was like a good way to, kind of set the thing being like, yes, we're going to get to John Cena maybe Monday, and let's just stop harping on this one thing. Let's just get to that spot. But we can't not address it on the episode because it's our biggest storyline. So they got a couple minutes out of it, and then they ended up getting a dark match with Cody Rhodes and The Miz afterwards. So that was good. And then we had the tag team championship match, the Street Profits versus DIY, with the Street Profits winning here. The match was good, and it was a good decision to put it on the Profits. The Profits have been great. Their new gimmick and demeanor, I think, is going to be good for the tag division, and that tag division seems like it's going to be ever changing. I almost guarantee you, these tag titles are going to rotate every 60 to 90 days ish. So having somebody like that and having the profits in there to take after DIY will then reset the whole entire board, because it goes Pretty Deadly is the next competitors, and then DIY is probably going to be able to get a tag team rematch, and then you kind of just start rotating it until the very next team that's the hottest comes in, and I think it ends up working pretty nicely. I'm gonna put this in S tier. The match itself was really good, and it was a good way to stop the show. Overall, I thought the show was pretty good. I'd probably put it in a high B A range. I think it was better SmackDown than a lot of the last couple weeks. It didn't kind of rely completely solely on the promos, and it did have some solid matches in there. I definitely would have cut out the stupid 2K segment if you're not gonna have Roman Reigns there. And the BFAB Charlotte match was fine. It just the match itself just was a little. I mean, we didn't really expect a ton from it. We did get Tiffany to come down there and save her and have Tiffany try to beat up Charlotte. So I think that was more of the catalyst of the better rating, because that probably would have made it a B, maybe an A, just that feud part. But yeah, and then I'm excited to see who this number 4 is. Obviously, the other promo definitely seemed like it was Rey Fenix, which would also be really exciting to maybe get the Raw tag division into a good spot. Till next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.